so I just went and saw No Way Home for the second time. So this is my review. So if you haven't seen it, go watch my other video. I made a video of my non-spoiler talk the first time I saw it. It's like 5 minutes, my honest first thoughts. Please go watch that if you haven't seen it yet, because I understand. By the time this recording is Tuesday, I'll be putting this out Saturday. So, I don't know if I will turn off comments for the video. I know this is going to be a video for premiere. So yeah, just be nice in the comments. So people that haven't seen it, I understand why people haven't seen it. It's almost been out for a week. So be mindful, please. So, also with that, consider liking this video, commenting on what you thought of it, and sharing with your friends if you have seen the video. So yeah, No Way Home. Honestly, a movie I was kind of scared of. Because I truthfully haven't liked MCU Spider-Man. I liked things in, like, I enjoy the movies a lot. I think they're the movies I've seen the most of, like, in a week of theaters. Which is weird, but I don't know. There's just things I don't like about the Spider-Man that, I really thought were going to get fixed in Far From Home, and it made things worse, and this one fixes it all. Because in Homecoming, there was stuff I really liked. I liked the message of he wasn't ready for being in the Avengers, and, maybe he's be more neighborhood-friendly Spider-Man, and then you go into Infinity War, and he's up in space, and Spider-Man's done that stuff, but he always kept, like, it down to earth. And then in Far From Home, I was like, oh, it's going to be a message of him kind of being a big shot, and, him having to learn a lesson through Mysterio, though it really feels like now he is the only Avenger. So now, like, he's the new Iron Man. Like, that was the whole message of, like, be the next Iron Man, which counts that what was being said in Homecoming. I don't know what John Watts was. John Watts did all three of these, so I don't know if that was just studio interference. I really don't know. Then he goes into this one and fixes it all, and I really like it. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie. I don't know if it's my favorite MCU movie. Into this phase, I will be making a whole new video discussing all that. Go check out that first one I did. Black Widow came out. This one will include that and all the shows. So yeah, I'm actually working on the script now, just because, collect my thoughts. But this movie fixed a lot of stuff for me. I like it. I like that Doctor Strange, like Iron Man, isn't in it a whole lot, and unlike Iron Man, doesn't rely on him totally, and I like it. Overall, I think everyone does a great job. Tom Holland does a great job showing a conflicted Spider-Man. Like in the trailer, he wanted, like in the whole movie, he's wanting to save this fearsome five or sinister five. I have a couple theories about that we'll get to later, but I liked him, his conflict. I like Zendaya's MJ. I like the kind of nice balanced Peter of like this optimism he has with her more, wearing, like, not wearing as the world, but more of a like way she views the world. Nice balance to each other. Like, there's an actual relationship, and also fans are gonna say, oh, because they're together. I'm like, same thing about Andrew. It's Andrew and Garfield and Emma Stone. I like Ned in this. I feel like he could. I feel like he kind of moved the plot a little bit, which I'll get into later. Aunt May, she's got some good scenes in here. Happy, again, some good scenes, and then you get into Andrew Garfield and Tom McGuire. They're nice. So it feels like Toby is a send-off and Andrew is a more of a, do you still want more of the Spider-Man? Because there's rumors that Andrew Garfield will come back as Spider-Man and possibly the Venom movies. And then you have, the villains, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Electro, pretty good. Like, they keep the character development from the other movies and then put it in, and it fits. It doesn't feel like they are in a new universe. They feel like characters from their universes into this one. It isn't like They're in this universe, and they like are like being transformed into this universe, much like people were thinking with Doc Ock with nanotechnology. I really like that scene a lot. The camera does a good job. Willem Dafoe hams it up like he walked off that set of Spider-Man 1 into this one. Like he hams it up. I like he is this immovable object against Peter's immovable force of wanting to save everyone. He's like, the whole line of you will die trying, trying to save everyone. Like that whole speech he has, like part of it you feel sorry for Goblin Norman because like there's the split thing, which they kind of confirm the whole split thing. I wonder how much Sam Raimi was involved because he's been doing Doctor Strange too, and how much John Watson and Sam Raimi working together. I love he steals the show every scene because you don't know when he's Norman he's gonna flip. You don't know, and it comes. And I told my friend this in the theater because he hadn't seen it. That's when I went today. I was like, look at his teeth because that's another thing they keep a lot of the visual cues from the other movies. Similarly, the Raimi films, where Willem Dafoe he had false perfect teeth when he's Norman, but if he's Goblin, they're his more natural Willem's actual gap teeth. It was like a nice visual cue. I love the scene with when he has spider sense. That's I love that scene. When I saw it the first time, I honestly thought that the sound went out. Like it muddled, and no, it's him. Like his spider sense is going so berserk that he doesn't know where the danger is because there's so many potential dangers in the room. He has to kind of find it, and he figures out quickly. Like this is a Spider-Man who's been kind of put through the ringer, from losing Tony and then having the death of Mysterio on him, his identity being outed, his friends are in danger. Like this is Spider-Man who's done, but also wants to still save people. That's Spider-Man. Though he's mentally wrung and done, he still tries to do the most he can. And I think that's Spider-Man. This is Peter Parker Spider-Man to a T in this movie. And it's thanks to stuff that's compounding. Maybe that was John Watson's original story of the kid growing. And it's a line that Dr. Strange says. It's sometimes, through all this, I forget you're still a kid. And it kind of shows Tom Holland, Peter's character, and the acting put in. Just showing that Spider-Man sometimes is a little wise beyond his years, and I really appreciate that. But sometimes he's still a kid. I like Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. I like that they kept, again, all of the characters. At first, the arms are still in control because where he got pulled from. And then he's himself again, and he's wanting to help. And I was wondering when he ran away. And I was like, what is he doing? Oh, he's clearly feeling. He's like, no, he was trying to get, away from Electro because he couldn't win. I guess was just trying to regroup and recollect his thoughts. After that, gaining his lucidity and then having to flee. I don't know. There's a couple things I think that are supposed to be left to up into interpretation. I think the weakest characters are Sandman and the Lizard. To me, the Lizard, he didn't seem as amazing or as big as before. And, every other character got this nice change, but it complemented it wasn't, it complemented the character. And, you could have given, someone could have offered, or Doc Ock could have offered, Dr. Connors a jacket. He's like, here, would you like a jacket? We get the nice white lab coat. Because maybe, they find a way to make him more lucid, or he has just become more lucid through shenanigans. I don't know. But they could have done that. It'd have been a slight change. Because, he'll just, he jumps up the wall, grabs Peter, slams him, with a goblin fight, and just runs off. They could have made him another with Norman, because, because at the end of Spider-Man, they imply that, Connors is remorseful what he did as the Lizard, because we don't know what happened after that. They imply some stuff, Andrew saying, I went a little too far. but he's kind of just there. Sandman, again, the thing about Sandman is he couldn't make it set. Thomas Hayden Church couldn't make it a set. So what they did is all the sand stuff, because I noticed the first time I asked my friend, I was like, it's interesting that Sandman's not sanding down when he's talking with people. It's interesting, and I later figured out that he couldn't make it set. So what they did is they had him record his voice for all the scenes, and at the very end, it's again when he is depowered and they finally give him the stuff that it's scenes from Spider-Man 3. They just took all the scenes and just threw it in here, which is genius because I didn't notice it the first time. But they could have had him coming through the portal, just mess with molecules, and and that's why he can't revert back to normal. The one thing I also got to compliment this movie for is there's some heavy scenes of emotion in this movie. And there's also comedy, but the comedy doesn't break the dark stuff. And when Aunt May dies, you're like, because when she gets hit by the glider, it's like, oh, she got clipped, in the back or something. She'll be fine. We'll fix her up. That's every Marvel movie's like, oh, they're hurt. We'll go to Wakanda. We'll patch them up. This one, no. It's like she got hit head on, internal bleeding, stuff's broken, she's dying from that. She got impaled, something. And I think a lot of it is just because Tomei didn't, like the script for her character. She wanted more, and so just being there, I get that. And some of my favorite stuff with Aunt May is the Ultimate Comics, where she's a character. I really wish they could do that. We still had the freshman year series, so we could easily get those scenes if they ask her to come back. But what if they just show that they'll have someone else voice her. And that scene, the whole scene is tense. My friend said that whole scene when they're in the apartment, when the Spider's going, he was tense because he didn't know what was going to happen. I think it's just a testament to a movie. Even though I had already seen it the first time, I was still tense because I knew what was going to happen. But still made me so tense. And I just, oh man. But they do the reverse Uncle Ben with Aunt May. And they kind of imply that Uncle Ben's not around either, because, again, see the tombstone. They don't reference Uncle Ben. It's an odd choice. We'll just see when freshman year comes out again to figure out, maybe, Uncle Ben died with Richard and May Parker and it's just Aunt May. We don't know. Because they don't show a tombstone. Or maybe Uncle Ben didn't exist. That was Richard and May Parker. And maybe there wasn't an Uncle Ben, it was just Richard. Or something, they imply that maybe he left something. So it's just Aunt May. And that is his Aunt May. Oh man. It's just him wanting to kill Goblin for what he did to Aunt May is totally understandable. But I like what they do with Andrew and Toby. I want to talk about it for a sec. Like I said, this is an end for Toby and possibly a new beginning for Andrew. So when they come in, they show that Andrew is still Spider-Man. And they say that he's like, no, I have no time for Peter Parker. He's someone who's just wanting to save people because he lost people. He lost Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy. And they took two different parts of Spider-Man, maybe two separate characters like they did in Spider-Verse. With Peter B. Parker and the other Peter Parker. And then you have Toby, who, when he's first introduced, he's wearing regular clothes. He's still Spider-Man, but he's more Peter Parker than he is Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man who realized he needs more of Peter Parker than Spider-Man. That one hasn't realized that yet, and I think through this now it's going to start doing that. Potentially getting with MJ and his universe, which confirmed that there already is an MJ. And these two together, realizing that helps this Peter Parker. And, they give him advice. And they're two different ways. And they get their own relief as characters for failures. Toby gets the scene where he catches the glider when Tom Holland wants to kill Goblin, because he could have caught it. He didn't. He jumped out of the way. That's actually something they show in the comics, where there's another fight. Goblin tries to ram with it, and grabs it and breaks it. And I think that's really interesting development of character. And with Andrew, you get to see him catch MJ. It was something that we've always theorized. And I'm glad it's a thing, because you see it, he starts crying that he got to actually saved the other Peter's loved one. That he got to kind of remedy his guilt in a way. So that's always the thing. Spider-Man's always guilty. He's like, I'm the reason Ben died, I'm the reason Gwen died, I'm the reason Harry's dead. This Peter's got some of that guilt. But through the relief of these other Peter's guilt, they help this Peter. I think that's such great writing. And this movie's 2 hours long, and it doesn't feel like it. It's weirdly paced in a good way. My problems with Shang-Chi and Eternal is that they're weirdly paced and want to stop on stuff. Here, they stop on stuff, but it's needed. Amides, there's a stop of them talking, of the Peter's meeting. And there's a brief moment when all the villains are together and Peter's trying to help them. And I like in the end when Strange lets Peter do it. In a way, he's been through enough. I'm going to let him try to save as many people as he can. I'll help him out. I love that about Doctor Strange. He's a human that's growing as a person versus who he was in Doctor Strange. That's another great development. I kind of wish they had a slight one where they gave a tribute to Steve Ditko and Stan Lee in this, just because those two created these characters. There's not a tribute scene for Stan. But I kind of wish that's what they would keep doing with the Stanley cameos. If they would do like some memoriam of some kind, like if they at Aunt May's stone, you walk past it and it's Stan's stone or something like that. I don't know. But this again fixed everything for me for Spider-Man, because Spider-Man depended too much on Iron Man, and this you take Iron Man or Stark Industries cut ties with Spider-Man because of the controversy. Even though it was odd, we think Gwen would know, or sorry, not Gwen. Pepper would trust Peter enough. Maybe she doesn't, because she hasn't met him a whole lot. And he's all the people are talking. His friends are affected as well, which I think is interesting. It's always, I'm affected, but my friends are scot-free. This one they're affected as well. At least his good friends, Ned and MJ. What was I saying? I don't remember. But I like his development, and it's him now having to be on his own, and it signifies with his new suit. The fact that he has a new suit, and it signifies his maturity, him creating his own suit, being in the apartment that it's from the Tom Maguire movies. It's him being like, I am my own person. Now, I am truly a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I like that. And the other scene I really like is when they're like, Toby's going to Andrew, like, you're amazing. Like, that scene where it's like, this Spider-Man's really let himself down. He's really talked himself down. It's like, I'm not amazing. I love people that. It's like, no, you're amazing. And at first you're like, yeah, because he's a movie called Amazing Spider-Man. But no, he's like, no, you're truly amazing. You're probably you're great, and you need to stop letting yourself down. Like, that's something. Like, there's a lot of nuggets of that, like, in this, and it's interesting. The first time I saw it, there was 5 different reactions. And this one I had 0 reactions, and the second time I saw it, which was interesting. The other thing is the way No Way Home takes the MCU. You have plot 1, the multiverse. now with Loki, and now No Way Home, and then Doctor Strange 2. Plot 2 is all the street level stuff. And then pulling in, because now we have Daredevil, replies by Charlie Cox, which makes way more sense. Why Hawkeye had 2 episodes doubled up on Thanksgiving makes way more sense, with Kingpin showing up in the last episode. And the third one is the Young Avengers. I don't know if I want this, because I wanted to break the development, and that is Peter leading the Young Avengers. I don't think they're going to do that. But, I could see him being in the movie for a brief scene. As a cameo, maybe. Like, he's the rallying cry of the Young Avengers forming. And then you have the Dark Avengers. With Valerie, Val, whatever she's got planned, with U.S. Agent and Yelena. That's interesting. I'm really excited for these different plots. And you have the plus shows that we're all feeding into this. I mentioned what's going to happen next. I really am. And we got 3 more movies. This is him in college. I'm really excited. And that's what's going to be the next one. Because the postcard scene showed Venom. So I assume that's what the next movie is going to be. And here's how they do it. So you bring back Aaron Davis. And you could say Aaron Davis was a fake name I used. My real name is Hobie Brown. And you use some of that. And you have the Prowler stealing tech, and he gets hold of the symbiote. Some scientist finds it. You could say it's Smythe Industries. So we can get Spider Slayers. And, the next, here's what you do. So you do Venom and the Prowler. And it's, you do the Prowler and Black Cat teaming up, and there's still much tech, and then you have the Venom. And you just show the parallels of the Prowler and Black Cat to Peter in the black suit. If you want to make Shocker part of it, go for it. And, here he's at MIT. He can't get the suit off, and then he realizes one of his professors is the Hulk. Bruce Banner is teaching it at MIT. He's like, I can't get it off. And that's when you introduce Professor Richards. And, this is what you do. He's like, oh, I know a little bit. I'm studying unstable molecules. This is very similar. Or maybe he inspires. The Venom symbiote inspires unstable molecules. This is how you do it. And that works. And then you have Hulk going to She-Hulk, and we'll have Daredevil in there, because I think that's when he's going to show up. Maybe Daredevil has a slight scene in this or something. I don't know. And then the next movie, because after this we have the end of Phase 4, which I feel like that's the Spider-Man movie. But then Phase 4, he's like, it's interesting, this thing has multiversal residual energy. It came from somewhere else, and that's what causes them to go into space or something. We get Fantastic Four, and then he comes back, and then you have Fantastic Four and everything. I think that it works. I think that's the most logical thing. And then move 2, you will do Spider Slayers. Maybe we do Smythe, maybe we do Richards, maybe Smythe is involved somehow, or Jameson wants to hunt down Spider-Man, so he hires Smythe, or he hires Gargan, the Scorpion. You do Gargan and the Spider Slayers together, since they're both created through Jameson, and that's the movie. And at the end, Scorpion's like, well, my boss will be in touch. And that's where we get a proper, the end of this third movie is a proper Sinister Six through the Kingpin, and it's a Daredevil movie versus the Sinister Six. Though, how do you top this? Maybe it's just Daredevil showing how dark the world can get for Peter. I don't know. These are just first off top of my head thoughts. But where does this lead after this? Of course, we have Daredevil. Is he going to get a Disney Plus show? Is he going to get a movie? or his character's got plot through lines through multiple shows and movies, and then it leads to them making a new Avengers movie. I get to see that, and then I could also see Luke Cage, somewhere in here. Where could you put Luke Cage? I don't know, but that's a whole separate video. But the other thing is, we have Ned, which I feel like that might be this for this next one or the second one. So Ned doesn't remember Peter anymore. Neither does MJ. So no, I feel like they're together now. That was one else I really thought of. And I don't know, but yeah, I don't know about that one. Like, but you could get Hobgoblin. We know Goblin's mask is still in an alley somewhere. Ned finds it on the way to MIT or somewhere, and it unlocks something in his brain. He remembers Norman, but like parts of Norman. He only remembers the Norman's eyes. And he remembers seeing MJ fall, and then he sees Peter almost killing Norton with the glider. He didn't see Tom Toby saving him, but in his mind, he sees Peter Parker he sees Spiderman killing the Goblin to him. And he's like, well, I guess I'll keep things going. And he becomes the Hobgoblin. Or if they want to go more magical with it, so we know that Ned has highest magic. Or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe in Multiverse Madness. We'll see. Excuse me. But like, I could see Ned becoming a villain. Because it's interesting they kept touching on him. He's like, Ned's like, oh, I'm your best friend. Do you have a best friend? He's like, yeah, he died in my arms. And then like Andrew had the look of, oh yeah, so did my friend. So did my Harry. And they kind of warn him, don't do that. So I wonder if it's all of that. Like, oh man, it's gonna be sad. I honestly don't know. Like, this movie opens up so freaking much. And this easily makes one of my top 10 MCU movies. I don't know if it's one of my top 5. We'll see when that video comes out. But I love so much of it. I don't think there's any negatives. Except the weird negative I could probably say is maybe Electro a little bit. Because it's such a weird character flip. But even that's not really a negative. That his motivation is he wants power and he knows he can get it here. I don't know. Not really a negative. There aren't really any negatives. Like, the more I watch a movie, the more like a negative shows up. The only like thing that like that Lizard and Sandman aren't really in the movie. That's really my only negative. But I just enjoyed so much of this movie. And oh man, I love it. I love that Daredevil scene. I like that they like if they didn't do a scene where he's like, well, Mr. Parker, try not to make a deal with the devil, and it just plays the Daredevil music. Like, they don't do that, which I'm glad they didn't. And I'm really excited to see what happens next. So, my honest thoughts. Because I think I'm going to get a good performance. There's a good story. Everything's greatly paced. I'm interested to see. Because with Morbius, it's interesting with Morbius. I don't. Yeah, because that movie's so perplexing to me. Because like, where does it fit? Because the second trailer really feels like now it's in the Andrew universe, with the Oscorp building, with that silhouette of Andrew Garfield's spider suit. But where does Vulture fit in? Here's my theory. So if him get pulled into this universe, just because multiversal shenanigans, and like the universe, like, oh, he really shouldn't be here. Neither should the other guys, but like, this one's just here. So all flip. So Vulture ended up in that universe. And maybe he sees on the news about this guy. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with everything. But like, that's my thoughts on that. Like, and I have a Andrew get the black suit, get like the Venom symbiote or something. I don't know. I'm excited to wait to see. We gotta wait till May for Doctor Strange 2. But such a weird note to end on Morbius. I don't know. But here's my honest thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've seen it, cool. If you haven't seen it and you're watching this and you're spoiled, not my fault. You clicked on it. It'll say spoiler review in the thumbnail and in the video. Your fault.